Good morning. Algon and the Sky Girl. This is an Algonquin myth. A myth is a journey, not just a story. It takes you along a narrative path to unfold a purpose. It is an offering of expansion and deep understanding. And this specific myth was very exciting for me to uncover. It helped me to dive more deeply into my heart to find God. Algon and the Sky Girl is a metaphysical journey of two worlds becoming one because of the love of the seeker for its beloved. Let me start with a synopsis of Algon and the Sky Girl. A young earthbound hunter named Algon sees the pure Sky Girl dancing in a field. She's with her sisters, who always disappear back to the sky when he gets too close. One day, he uses his magic to pretend to be a mouse to get close to her. As he gets closer, he returns to being a man, and he is able to capture her. They fall in love and have a son. Years later, she's very lonely and misses her father and her sisters back home. She builds a basket to travel back with her son to the sky. After a time, she and his son are missing Algon and longing to be with him again. Seeing their pain, her father sends her back to the earth with love. But she can come back to see him as long as she gathers attributes of the earth creatures. A bear claw, the teeth of a raccoon, and feathers from the falcon, the hawk, and the eagle. Upon seeing Algon again, he is so happy that he helps to gather these attributes of the earth creatures and take them back to her father in the sky. In his gratefulness, the father happily bestows the falcon feather to Algon, Sky Girl, and their son. The falcon feather represents the great privilege, the determination, and the ability to connect back and forth between both worlds. It has certainly been a journey for Algon. This story represents the metaphysical experiences of the seeker and how to open to God's supply. The myth takes us to the metaphysical journey of that calling from within, which stirs and awakens the seeker to seek. That's Algon. He's our seeker. And you're here today because you're a seeker too. The metaphysical journey also of opening to God's supply is invaluable. It's a story of two worlds becoming one. Algon and the Sky Girl. They go through many moments of joy and suffering until they're able to travel back and forth between two worlds with ease. And they use the falcon, the feather of the falcon. We do this in our own lives. We try to go back and forth between worlds when all along the supply we need is in the one. What do we need to do is we need to converge both worlds. So there is a calling from within that stirs the seeker. This seeking can be so powerful. It can come across like the need to experience such profound love. Could it be that deep, intimate relationships are experienced so that we can get closer to this love, this oneness with God? Rumi says that only from the heart can you touch the sky. Like from the heart of the hunter, seeking passionately and finding himself in his inner world where he found his sky, found it within. And I can remember a time as a young seeker when I was desperate to be loved. I had a wonderful, loving partner. It was magical, but I was still seeking. Something called me very, very deeply to go in further. I was not yet aware that God sat within me. I was still experiencing the God outside of me. But wow, did my life explode when I realized that I could connect here and out here. It's one of the greatest treasures of my life. Then I took the next step and I looked deeper inside. Now, if you've read the book of Matthew, you'll know that in chapter 7, verse 7, he says, ask and it shall be given you. What does that mean? It's not about asking for a car or a house or a partner. Maybe Unity minister and mystic Reverend Jim Rosemurgy can help us out. In his book, Even Mystics Have to Pay Bills, he asserts that just to be clear, or rather we have to be clear with what we're asking. And he says, ask for God. If you want infinite supply, you need to ask for God. Why would you ask for just one thing when you can have the greatest potential? Ask and it shall be given you. Well, I'm asking. And now when I do ask to know God, to be more connected, because everything I need is accessible right here. Algon was asking to see God too, in his great love and joy of meeting the sky. Just one moment of remembering God can alter your whole day completely, if not your whole life. Remembrance is a connection. It is a practice in multiple faiths. The practice of multiple prayers a day is remembrance. The practice of chanting is remembrance of the oneness. The practice of the zikr of the Sufis is remembrance. And they say in their zikr, specifically for remembrance, they say, there is no God but God, that is He. Now, I say, when I say that, there is no God but the one God. And when we do remember, our whole consciousness is with that God in the moment, with the oneness. We have not forgotten we are one, and suddenly everything lights up from head to toe, and we have ultimate supply. It's all there. Just by looking inside, you can change your life. The thing is, when we're outside and we are focused only there, we lose that sense of connection. In fact, they call this separation. And Algon and Sky Girl suffered immensely when they were separate. The earth and the sky, also known as body and spirit. But at Unity, we believe that God is the one power and presence through everything, everywhere. So can we really be separate from God? At any point, can we? Not really. But if you think you're separate, then you become the feeling of separateness and all its attributes of being separate. It's the law of mind action we need to remember that says, what I carry in mind creates after its kind. Do you believe that you're separate from God? If you do, you don't have that ongoing supply. As Algon and the Sky Girl went back and forth between two worlds, there was suffering. They'd not yet found a way to join their worlds. How many of us have joined our body and spirit in conscious awareness? There and only there is there no separation. All there was throughout the story was ever thinking it's all or nothing, it's above or it's below, it's one world or the other. We do that all the time. Interesting quote from Leo Tolstoy, the writer from Russia. He says, a man who does not understand the benefit of suffering does not live a clear and true life. Could it be that our suffering will lead us to our greatest awareness and our greatest potential? What if just a symbol of the falcon feather was all we needed? Could I hold a feather like this and remember that now I am one, that I am connecting the one the two worlds to the one, allowing the grace of God to help me, reminding me of my unity with God and all of you. In the Daily Word this month, the Daily Word is Unity's fabulous prayer magazine. Just this week, actually, there was a saying. It says this: as I lift up my consciousness in the grace of God, I draw forth the best outcomes for my soul. The best outcomes just by connecting your consciousness to the idea, concept, experience of God. Just by saying, I allow my consciousness to acknowledge and be present with God. So the symbol of the feather can be a remembrance that we are in unity with God in each moment, in every moment. For me, it represents grace. The joining of two worlds is a graceful experience. It is the gentleness that is possible to remind us of our oneness. We're connecting both worlds. The one of our humanness upon the earth as Algon, and the one of the spiritualness that's unseen, that is the Sky Girl. Have you ever been in the world? No, of course you're in the world. Have you ever been in the woods and looked up or around you and suddenly felt overcome with love or joy? In the knowledge that you are one with everything, and those feelings that you have, it's such a treasure. To go beyond illusion of separation and to do this is a wonderful gift. I've done this many times, and I find it most profound when I'm listening to music or I'm playing music on my guitar or my piano or on the drums. The music just pours through my whole being, vibrating me into that oneness through my heart, and my whole being just answers that call. In these moments, there's no fear, there's no anxiety, and there's no feelings of separation. And I feel elation. I know I am one. It's like this lighting up from head to toe, feeling absolute flow, being in flow through everything, everywhere, like you are one with God. As God is, so am I. So a deep look inside can change my life. And that's really what we need to remember. To conclude, that there is a stirring deep within each of us to seek and remember God. And it's only the separation that leads to our suffering. So we continue to seek love in order to find our way to the greatest love, that is God. And when we remember unity, we become the expression of God, our unity. We live it, we are it, we feel it, and we experience joy and love. Life is going to feel good for a while when you do that. But then again, what of the separation that keeps happening? As humans, we're likely to do this, to go over and over and over and over again between worlds. We are really good at forgetting that we can be in the oneness, forgetting God. And we separate ourselves all over again. So we start to suffer again. So perhaps instead of this suffering, you can begin to sit in awareness of that infinite supply that is God. When you see a feather as a reminder that you are joining the two worlds as one to that infinite supply, let that feather be a reminder. So today, you are the seeker, just like Algon, but you're conscious. You're not going to go back and forth as much. And you're capable of remembering that your earthly self is connected to your spiritual self. It is one. You are one. You have to remember that. And when you see the feather from this moment forward, a feather, please remember that it is a reminder. It is a symbol of joining two worlds together as one. And you are not just the you that you see in the mirror. You are of two worlds, becoming one. So on this beautiful day, go in peace, go in love, and find a beautiful feather to remind yourself of the abundance of the oneness that is always accessible within. Blessings and light. Have a great day.